old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
Now, how old was Jay-Z at the time?
I think like 22.
People are desperate and willing to do anything to get a headline that detracts from the fact that that man, that her husband, who has been denying is his child for many years, is about to finally get that DNA result that everybody has been so desperate.
Past that, you can't undo kids. You can't undo like him allegedly courting young girls that were way younger than him underage. Like, all of this has to come out, and it's like you just keep trying to stuff it in.
Jay-Z just got slammed with the one thing he's been dodging for decades, a leaked DNA test. Rymir, the man who's been shouting for years that Jay is his real father, finally dropped what he's calling the proof, and 50 Cent is backing him up loud, messy, and in full view of everyone. This ain't some brand new tea either. If you've been tuned into the streets, you know Rymir's been out here for more than a decade saying Jay-Z needs to take a paternity test, which Jay kept refusing. Instead of settling it, Jay's been accusing Rymir of straight up harassing him for years.
No, I would hope it's not money, honestly, because I really don't want anything from you. If it wasn't, just to know my identity. If you didn't want a relationship with me, that's cool. I can respect that, but we could have got this over with, and I just feel that my mom, since she's gone now, like, she had to fight.
Through court filings and legal moves. But here's the twist. Rymir ain't letting go. Word is, he managed to get an indirect DNA test that says Jay-Z is his father. Now Rymir's teamed up with 50 Cent, who's not just watching from the sidelines, he's helping get those DNA results out in public. And Jay-Z's already looking shook. Why so nervous? Well, if these results go public, it could connect to some ugly accusations people have whispered for years. Rymir claims his mother, Wanda, was only 16 when Jay, already in his 20s, got her pregnant. If there's even a grain of truth in that, it's a seriously dark look for Jay-Z.
How old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
Now, how old was Jay-Z at the time?
I think like 22.
Wait, 15 and 22. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now I can kind of see why he's probably not claiming it, because it looks bad on his reputation. You can't undo kids. You can't undo like him allegedly courting young girls that were way younger than him underage. Like, all of this has to come out, and it's like you just keep trying to stuff it in.
Before Rymir's mom, Wanda, passed away, she never held back. She boldly claimed Jay-Z was Rymir's father. According to her, she first met Jay back in 1992 when he rolled through Philly, picked her up, and brought her to his apartment in Brooklyn. She said they used protection, but it failed. And that's when she got pregnant. That revelation lit a fire under Rymir's hunt for answers, especially after he discovered through a DNA test that his mom's longtime boyfriend, Robert Graves, the man listed on his birth certificate.
The person that my mom was with, it was Robert Graves. He was on there before they took him off when the testing came. And they asked him and Sean to take the test, and he came up and faithfully took it and took the test.
Wasn't his biological father. Rymir even went as far as getting Robert's name removed last year because the science proved it wasn't him. Wanda allegedly swore she had only been with two men, Robert and Jay-Z. So if Robert was ruled out, that left just one possibility. People in the streets even say Rymir has Jay's features. Wanda didn't just talk. She once filed a civil lawsuit for child support against Jay, but the case got tossed. Still, until her very last breath, Wanda stood firm on her claim that Jay-Z was Rymir's father. Plenty of people believe the stress and pressure Wanda carried because of Jay-Z might have played a role in her untimely death. Friends say she spent years battling frustration, heartbreak, and a legal system that seemed stacked against her.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
you're trying to collect any money.
That's why I said this for years. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm, of course, anybody would want more money. Who wouldn't take money? But I'm good where I'm at in life. I got a great job. I'm driving Mercedes-Benz. I'm taking care of myself, taking care of my kids.
And it all came from chasing a truth she swore she knew. The whispers around this case have only gotten louder with time. Accusations of corruption, Backroom deals and powerful people pulling strings to make sure certain things never see daylight. Rymir has been crystal clear from the start. This isn't about cashing in. He's not looking for Jay-Z's money. He just wants the truth out there for the world to see. Still, he's been loud about what he calls years of injustice against him and his mother. He claims the courts tossed out their filings, not because the evidence wasn't there, but because Jay-Z had the influence to make it happen.
So tell me how the lawsuit came about, the paternity suit came about. Like when did you initiate that?
Well, my mom initiated it. She basically, I guess she started in 2011.
According to Rymir, Jay-Z leaned on his wealth, his fame, and his deep connections to sidestep responsibility. He accuses Jay's legal team of using every trick in the book to derail his case, from delaying moves to flat-out sabotaging evidence. In Rymir's eyes, it wasn't just an unfair trial, it was a fight he was never allowed to win. People are flat out asking now, if Jay really believes Rymir isn't his son, why won't he just take the test and settle it once and for all? What's he really hiding behind the curtain? The question's only getting louder because this isn't the first time Jay's name has been tied to something dark. Not too long ago, he barely escaped getting dragged down with his longtime friend Diddy after one of Diddy's accusers claimed that both Jay and Diddy were involved with her when she was just 13. That accusation alone was enough to shake the internet. The lawsuit might have been dropped, but here's where it gets grim. The woman recently stepped forward saying she never took back her original story. She claims the only reason she dropped it was because Jay allegedly sent private investigators to track her down and intimidate her into staying quiet.
People are desperate and willing to do anything to get a headline that detracts from the fact that that man, that her husband, who has been denying is his child for many years, is about to finally get that DNA result that everybody has been so desperately waiting.
If that's even halfway true, it's a dangerous look for him. What's even more suspicious is how silent the mainstream has been. TMZ, The Shade Room, total blackout. Go search for the Rymir situation or the woman's latest claims. Nothing. And this isn't just a one-off. The same hush happened with the Jane Doe case. Just last week, a judge tossed Jay-Z's defamation lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby, who represents Jane Doe. And yet, barely a whisper in the media. It's like there's an invisible wall protecting him. But Jaguar Wright, she's been loud, calling out the silence and warning that too much shady business is being swept under the rug while the public's being kept in the dark. Jaguar Wright has been going in hard. She's outright calling out TMZ, accusing them of protecting Jay-Z by staying silent and burying headlines.
Wanda was a minor. When she got pregnant with him. And like Wanda always said, he picked her up in Philly, but he took her to New York across state lines to bed her while she was allegedly underage. She got knocked up in 91. He was well into his 20s by that time. Well into his 20s. Allegedly taking teenage girls over state line. He got unlucky, that contract broke. Poor guy. Or maybe that was just karma. Maybe God made sure that happened for a moment like right now. Disgusting.
According to her, Jay is scrambling behind the scenes to cover his tracks, trying to slow down the noise about Rymir's indirect DNA test, the one that allegedly points straight at him as the father. And Jaguar's not tiptoeing around the subject either. She's been openly saying Jay's denial of Rymir comes from the fact that he got Rymir's mom, Wanda, pregnant when she was still underage. A claim that, if true, would be explosive. Jaguar hasn't stopped there. She's been painting a picture of a man who knows how to bend the system, alleging that Jay has such deep control over the legal world that he can even bribe judges to avoid taking that paternity test.
Turns out now, all of these judges were bought off and paid off, and they're going to be looking at sanctions and probably charge him.
She's warning that this isn't just about one man and one lawsuit. It's about power being used to silence people and keep the truth locked away. And now 50 Cent stepped into the ring. Notorious for never backing down from a public fight, 50's been openly clowning Jay for dodging that DNA test. Reports are swirling that he reached out to Rymir personally, offering to stand by him and even help release those indirect DNA results. Then, in true 50 fashion, he dropped a cryptic bomb on Instagram that had everyone talking. A good lawyer knows the law, a great lawyer knows the judge. The message didn't name names, but everyone knew who it was aimed at. And just when it looked like things couldn't get any messier, the whispers started turning into real talk. There's now chatter that more receipts are about to drop, and this time they might involve names way bigger than anyone expected. Behind the scenes, insiders claim there are documents and messages tying powerful industry figures to a full-blown effort to protect Jay-Z from ever having to face Rymir in court. Sources close to Rymir's camp say they've been approached by people claiming they once worked around Jay's legal and PR teams. And they're hinting at years of backroom deals, pressure on witnesses, and strategic media blackouts designed to make this whole story disappear. One insider even says there's proof certain bloggers were paid to bury posts and kill headlines before they ever gained traction. Meanwhile, 50 Cent continued to stoke the fire, posting throwback photos and captions that have fans decoding every word like it's a clue. Jaguar Wright's been doubling down too, promising she's got more truth bombs to drop, including details she claims the mainstream would never dare publish. Now the streets are buzzing with one big question. If Rymir and his allies really have these so-called smoking guns, are they going to drop them all at once or keep feeding the public piece by piece until Jay-Z has no choice but to face the music? Now the energy around this whole situation is getting downright electric, and not in a good way for Jay-Z. Behind closed doors, the chatter is that Rymir's side is preparing something big, something that could blow the case wide open in a way that even Jay's wealth and connections might not be able to contain. People close to the situation are saying that the indirect DNA results aren't the only receipts they've got. There are other documents, timelines, and even old photographs that could hit the public any day now. And it's not just Rymir and his camp moving in silence. Industry insiders are watching 50 Cent's every move because lately his Instagram posts have been getting sharper and more pointed. The kind of posts where you don't have to tag someone. The streets already know who the message is for. Jaguar Wright's been amping things up too, doing interviews and podcasts where she drops just enough detail to keep the public glued, but never enough to let Jay's team prepare a counterattack. She's hinting that there are names and places tied to this story that would shock even the most loyal Jay-Z fans. Word is, his camp is scrambling harder than ever, working overtime to track down who's leaking what and how much Rymir's side is really holding back. Insiders are saying Jay's lawyers have been making quiet calls to media contacts, trying to feel out just how much of this story might be ready to spill and whether it can still be contained. Meanwhile, Rymir's team is playing it smart. They've gone tight-lipped, letting 50 Cent and Jaguar Wright keep the pressure on in public while they line up their next play. That silence is only making people more curious and more convinced that something huge is coming. Behind the scenes, there's also talk of a potential press conference, one where Rymir could finally address the situation head-on, with evidence laid out for the world to see. If that happens, it could be the kind of moment that breaks the internet, but with the stakes this high, nobody's sure if Jay will try to block it before it happens. 50's still fanning the flames on social media, posting cryptic quotes and throwback pics that fans swear are loaded messages. And Jaguar, she's doubling down, telling her audience that the truth don't stay buried forever, and hinting that more voices might be ready to come forward. Now this right here flips the whole table. For years, Rymir's case has been buried so deep by mainstream outlets you'd think it never existed. But the second 50 Cent jumped in, Jay-Z's camp went from calm to crisis mode. Sources close to the situation say his team is working overtime, scrambling behind closed doors to kill the lawsuit before it explodes into something they can't control. Word is, they're not just trying to shut it down. They're also pushing stories to smear Rymir's name so that if the truth comes out, people will already be doubting him. And get this, Jay just filed brand new court papers, practically begging the judge to toss out Rymir's case completely. In those filings, he's claiming it's all more harassment, the same line he's been using for years to dodge the paternity question. But the streets, they're not buying it for a second. Folks are saying it plain. If Jay's really got nothing to hide, why spend tens of thousands on lawyers instead of just taking one simple test and putting it to rest? The comments online have been brutal. One person wrote, "If Jay-Z has nothing to hide, take the test." Another said, "Jay-Z doesn't believe in accountability." And the coldest one of all, "If his mother was 15 years old and taken from one state to another, somebody's gonna be in trouble." So now I'm asking you, is Jay hiding something? Should he finally step up and take that DNA test? Could Rymir have been telling the truth this whole time? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and smash subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Because trust me, this story is nowhere near done. See you in the next one.